they're now using America as their pretext to fully do things they wouldn't have dared do before. I mean, I don't think people realize, as you're saying, just how evil and what an abomination our country's become, Gerald.
Again, it's in front of everybody, but the prostitutes don't report it. They barely reported on the NDAA that was signed on New Year's Eve. They barely reported on Obama's signing that last executive order that also, what does it allow him to take over with a potential threat? A potential threat. They could take over corporations, farms, enslave us. I mean, I read it on Prisonplanet. You have it all outlined there. A potential. When's potential? Well, potential is potentially forever. They didn't write, they wrote some little column about the latest one that big bro out there, Eric Holder, relationship to Big Brother, that he just signed off on, that now they could collect all the information they want about any of us, Google, emails, telephone conversations, and you don't even have to be a threat. They're doing this all under the guise of the war on terror. No, it's not the war on terror. It's that they're terrorized. They may be incompetent. They may act like psychopaths and are arrogant, and they may appear stupid, but they're not stupid enough not to be able to read the graffiti on the walls. And it's very clear. You know my saying, when people lose everything and have nothing left to lose, they lose it. And they're putting these draconian measures and this police state in place because they know there's going to be a lot of mass protests, very large protests throughout Europe, throughout the United States, throughout Russia. The systems are collapsing, and they're putting everything in place to clamp down on the people. And I keep asking the question, what is it going to take before the people realize that those great red, white, and blue coaches are nothing more than an express train to Auschwitz?
Well said. What do you make of open announcements that they're going to tax you to walk down the street?
Again, they're going to keep clamping down on us at every level they can until you truly have Orwell's 1984 come alive in 2012. And you said it, Alex. They make it okay to feel you up at the airport. They make it okay to stop you. And that's what happens to the proles. The proles will be fine with paying a little bit here or there, being that Big Brother is watching over them and taking care of them. Orwell would be shocked if he saw what was happening, far greater than he could have ever imagined. The control freaks are in control. The systems are breaking down. And how could any dignified person, how could any person with that much self-respect look up to a Santorum, to a Romney, to an Obama? We're months away from the 2012 election, and imbeciles, people with the cojones the size of moths, are going to go to the ballot box and say, I voted for a lesser of two evils. How about you voted for the greater of two cons? So that's what we're looking at. The people are signing their own death warrant when they go to vote for the two criminal parties.
Let me raise this point. I'm a big supporter of Ron Paul. He's 76 years old, running a really hard campaign on the ground. But even Paul's admitted, and the New York Times has admitted, There's been election fraud. They stole the early states from him. And I know that legislation was introduced to begin the impeachment process against Obama if he launches more wars without congressional approval. What about the last one in Libya? Well, how about we go directly to impeachment? Ron Paul, that'd be a great campaign move as well. How about, instead of Ron Paul, I know this message will get to him, fighting with the other little Republican twits, how about Ron Paul starts impeachment against Obama? How about that?
It's not going to go anywhere. I mean, it's like having somebody in the Third Reich, screaming and yelling. Hitler's not doing it right. I mean, it's been fascism. It's taken over. You post them on your website all the time. How many is it going to take to add up before people could see it?
Well, I think you hit the core of it, though.
The only way I see this ending is to end these two criminal operations called the Republicans and the Democrats. My campaign for 2012, I want to see a voters' strike if the only choice we have is Romney or Ron Paul from these two major parties. And I believe that if 40% or less of us go out to vote, we could call this an illegitimate election, because it's really clear, folks, we don't want any of you two jerks. You barely got 25% of the vote or 30% of the vote, whoever the winner is. We need to change the system. The system's corrupt from top to bottom. Nancy Pelosi's worth $200 million. You think she got that because she's so smart? How much is it going to take people before they understand that every aspect of their life is being destroyed by a gang of 535, that's what Congress is, that is taking over for them? A bunch of megalomaniacs, psychopaths, sociopaths, arrogant, stupid people making decisions for them that are going to affect the rest of their lives. When are they going to stand up and understand that Washington is not a world away? No. Read Big Bro Holder's latest proclamation. They're in your email. They're in your bedroom. They're on Google. They're listening to you on the telephone. How much more is it going to take?
Well, I agree with you, Gerald. It is so over the top that it is completely illegal to listen to someone without a warrant. And they have the CIA director out saying, hey, we listen to everything, and we're getting companies to put little tracker chips and listening devices in all your devices. We're listening to you over the phone, the computer. Google, for now at least 6 years, admits they're watching and listening to people over the built-in microphones and cameras. It's totally illegal, and it's in our face now. It's just off the charts. It is so overwhelming what they're doing.
It's no longer illegal. Those are words. They made it legal. The Constitution no longer exists. In the latest declarations by the Attorney General and El Presidente, Los Estados Unidos, they can do anything they want. They've granted themselves full power. I mean, again, potential threats mean that they exist forever. So again, when I look at what's going on, Alex, I'm a writer. I could, in my wildest dreams, I could not have come up with a more lame script than the presidential reality show.
It's off the charts. It's like a Kurt Vonnegut dark satire of the most ridiculous system. But we have parallels. We have this big power grab. They're openly stealing bank accounts. But then we still have a lot of basic freedoms. People are starting to wake up. So my point is, Gerald, we have to call it for what it is. And I think the heart of it is the prostitutes will not report on it and make it a big issue. And they use distractions like the Trayvon Martin situation, which is tragic. And I don't think that the wannabe cop should have followed him, down the street a bit. But now black friend defends shooter of Florida teen. says that he's known him for years. In fact, it's a black anchorman there locally that's friends with George Zimmerman. Witnesses have told police that, and this has been in their day one, that Trayvon Martin was on top of Mr. Zimmerman and had, quote, well, now we know his nose was broken. My point is, why are they making such a big, giant deal out of this? Why is the Justice Department coming out and saying that they may charge him with hate crimes? And now the Black Panther Party, the new Black Panther Party, is saying vigilante arrest him. My point is, when a cop shoots a black guy in handcuffs and then lies about it, you don't see Obama come out and talk about it because that's seen as the system. But when they can try to play black off against white, they do it because the system, the prostitutes, want us fighting with each other instead of knowing it's the big offshore megabanks. Your take on all that?
Oh, you're 100% right. I agree with you. And let's bring it to another level. Is there racism? Of course there is. Are there ethnic slurs about different nationalities and groups? Hey, you put on an equivalent of what was that show? Sopranos. Yeah. Do that with a black, a Hispanic, or a Jew. See how far you get. Is that kind of thing going on? Sure it is. Do I like it as Italian? No. But let's not call America a racist country. Because let's make this really clear. The people in this country elected a black president. If you can't have more proof than that, let's call it a gay here. Because this guy, maybe there was a hate crime here, maybe. But this is not an overtly racist country. Not when you have a black man sitting in the United States and the Attorney General's black. Give me a break.
Well, let's remember this. Whenever there's black on white crime, the media will not cover it. But take the lacrosse team. Turned out that was all made up. They had to drop the charges. Same people, Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton, in there implying that white guys are a bunch of devils. Folks, I'm white, and I'm here to tell you, I'm not thinking hateful things about people. I want everybody to do well. I want to live in peace, and I'm sick of the prostitutes because they're the ones trying to stir this up. They're the same prostitutes that said attack Iraq. They're the same ones that told you Corzine's a nice guy. If the prostitutes are stirring up this Trayvon Martin thing, and why are black people on average getting so mad just when the media tells you to get mad? Again, it's a manipulation.
Well, it's the same manipulation. We hate Muslims in this country. So of course it's a manipulation. It's Big Brother.
They want us. Why do you think they're pulling this right now? Because there's lots
because they want to get our minds off the major issues. As I said, look at the presidential reality show. Look at these three characters. A Romney, a Santorum, and an Obama. Larry Moe and Curly. I mean, come on. You couldn't make this one up. There's Obama in the papers I see the other day, and he's in North Korea, and it says Barack Obama, Commander-in-Chief, and he has these field glasses looking over at the DMZ between South Korea and North Korea. I mean, come on. All right, why?